Hey, hey, hey.
Hello, it's Thursday. Welcome, welcome.
Welcome back, y'all.
Our ninth episode of Empower Yourself TV. I'm Sonia White,
And I'm Joy.
and you know what we do. We're opening the conversation and trying to help people to make a connection between what is it they want and what is it they're doing. I think I was talking to Joy earlier and I was saying, I have some stuff to share from what happened to me this week, but what exactly am I really we're trying to do here? It's not about diet. Yes, it's about lifestyle, but I think more as we're doing it and we're going through our personal journey of unlearning a lot of what we, you know, we got from our environment and parents and all the information, trying to unlearn much of that towards assisting us to begin to do the work. And I want to say, I'm going to talk a little bit about what happened to me this week. I've been under some study crunch and been feeling, well, today we're going to talk about, are we contributing to our ill health or disconnection or dis-ease? And I want to say we are, because I was thinking about that for myself. So all during this week, I've been craving carbs. And my carbs, I have the fruit and stuff, but I get into these moments where I want kind of like bread, but I made some flatbread from spelt. This is what I put in there. I did spelt, hemp seed, flaxseed.
That's not so terrible.
Yeah, but it's not even that is the fact that I was eating it more than I was having,
The
and it's
fruit?
dry. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
dry. So I was like having more of that, and then I got up this morning. And what happened when I have stuff that is dry, and I've been doing this for a while, but I'm trying to make the connection as to what is going on with me emotionally, psychologically, that subconsciously I'm going towards that. So I think as I'm on this journey, I'm trying to live more consciously, more aware of my actions in an effort to override and reprogram so I don't end up, I am further away from that type of, because we're all the memories, where the patterns, where the habits, the programming. So we live so much of our life from that subconscious, that in order for me to change that type of memory and programming and pattern and habits, I have to do it from a place of consciously paying attention. And I think our society and how we are oriented, we don't do well with concentration. And what's going on now with social media and click 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 and phone switch swipe
So
swipe swipe.
everything's a distraction.
Yeah, so now we are, that external thing is creating this, I want to, is it this focus where we're not building the muscle of concentration anymore. And concentration is so integral to consciousness, which I really think that's why people can't sit still,
Can't meditate.
can't meditate. So now we have something externally that's fighting this thing that is constantly in motion. We're thinking constantly up and down, we're feeling up and down, and we have something over here that's making it worse. for us in trying to change, because
Mm-hmm.
change does take consciousness. Commitment takes consciousness, but you need to be aware of what is it you're doing. The awareness is not there. So I
Mm-hmm.
am deciding more and more when I feel like, and I'm listening more to my body, and I'm encouraging you guys to do that too, to start to take cues from my internal, from my intelligence, to pay attention to that. So I'm overeating or overindulging in the flatbread and thinking, okay, why am I? But it's the memory of what the flatbread is going to give me. Sure, it turns into glucose because I'm feeding subconsciously, I'm not feeling very optimistic, because I have the studying and I'm thinking, okay, what's the emotion that's driving me? So the
Mm-hmm.
emotions that are driving me is the anxiety, probably the fear of failure, just
Mm-hmm.
sitting with those feelings that we're definitely not oriented to sit with.
Right.
We learn when we feel these, we don't even identify what the feelings are because we're so out of touch with our feelings.
Mm-hmm.
But to sit with the feeling and say, okay, what is the alternative? And what I was doing was, because better, it's like, one man here and one man here. And, it's like we're constantly doing this inside of our heads. I'm
Mm-hmm.
thinking, why did I do that? I know better. But it's, I cannot, discount the fact that I'm still in transition in the
Mm-hmm.
process,
Mm-hmm.
and it's going to take time. And I'm saying that to say
Mm-hmm.
my takeaway this morning was how impatient I remember being with people. I'm trying to step away from that, come from a place of more patience and compassion and understanding
Mm-hmm.
of, people are, it's not that we don't want to change. I know it's not that people don't want to change. It's that.
But we've been programmed to do the quick fix stuff too. And I think with this whole health, not to cut you off,
That's
sorry,
fine.
with this whole health thing or just, whole lifestyle change, we're wanting to like in 2 days, we want to see like we want to be instantly there, even like with the weight gain. Like that first week, we want instant, but we that like you said, that's the
Mm-hmm.
programming.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But I said, but the connection is, if we're not aware, living
Mm-hmm.
in that space of focus and consciously, it's like that knowing of what is, because we're living our lives outside of our head so much.
Mm-hmm.
We're constantly, you can wash your dishes, walk to the toilet, you think of all the things you do on a daily basis without even a second thought of how did I even get here.
Mm-hmm.
But it's almost like you're wired, you're
Mm-hmm.
being puppeteered from the memory and the
Mm-hmm.
pattern,
Mm-hmm.
just like brushing your teeth. You can't brush your teeth and you're not even aware that you're brushing your teeth.
Mm-hmm.
Or taking a shower and you're not even aware that you're taking a shower. And it's the same thing, I think, with how we're oriented towards food. So now I understand we're fighting a memory and a pattern and a programming that needs time for us to override, because 50 years, 60 years of that, not gonna happen overnight. And what I think has happened to us, I was saying to Joy, is that this is what I believe, and this is what the experts say. It's mind that creates matter. It first has to be conceptualized here It's much like
Mm.
what we drive. We drive car, we take the airplane. I'm drinking from the smog, you know. I'm having some mint and moringa. Joy made it for me. And it's good. So all the stuff that's tangible was first in the intangible, in the unseen, which the Bible says it's in the unseen and then it turns out into the seen. So mind and thinking preceded matter. But if we look at how we're trying to address change, if you look at, say, for instance, the diet industry and the industry of healthcare or whatever it is, okay, this is a diet we're gonna eat 6 meals a day. We're gonna work out, and we have this whole plan of action. And I'm not saying it doesn't work, but we're coming from a place of matter to solve an issue that came from a place of mind. So it's like we have the horse in front of the cart, which is why I feel it's not sustainable. People are on this roller coaster and they're trying, like you, this diet and that diet and the other diet, trying to find.
And and I understand what you're saying because I struggle with that now doing Adama's protocol because before I was so like, oh my God, like, there's the pagan, and then there's the Atkins, and it's like we have to have those, like we have to have somebody telling us step by step.
Mm-hmm.
So with Adama's, lifestyle change, it was totally, I mean, she gives you little things, but she basically, you got to pretty much figure it out,
Yeah.
like she's not telling you at, in the morning at 9, eat some fruit and eat 4 or 5, or she's not telling you exactly, you figure that out,
Mm-hmm.
she just
Mm-hmm.
kind of gives you like, a little, what is it? Like a layout, but not where it's like, because everybody's body's different, so you got to figure that out.
Yeah.
But we're so used to that with the Atkins and the South Beach, and because they lay it out for us like that, that's what we're used to.
Mm-hmm.
And I can relate to that because when I started Adama's lifestyle, I was totally lost. I was like, oh my God, I can't do this. Like, she didn't break it down enough. And, and then I was like, now that I'm in it, 4 years, I'm like, I look at it, the pattern, like it was a cycle.
Yeah, it was a pattern. It's how
Yeah.
we were conditioned
Condition, yeah.
to look outside,
Mm-hmm.
to find the answers outside, to be told what to do, when to do, how to do. So, what we have done is totally develop a system of dependency outside rather than dependency from inside. And when I say inside, when I'm talking, guys, don't get me wrong. When I say inside, I believe that we came into this world with a superior intelligence. All of us are geniuses. But I think is how we were cultured, nurtured, nature nurture cultured, that certain aspects, abilities, talents gets developed. And we have to, I don't, because I was talking to my sister-in-law today and I was saying, I look at all of the areas in our lives that makes sense that we all want. We have this big thing about money now. Everybody is going after money and we're coming up with why we don't have money, and everybody have a way to get money. But it's not the money we're after. We're really after the thing, the mind stuff, which is the basic human needs. You want shelter, you want to be able to be free, we want freedom, we want connection. The money gives you that. When you talk to somebody that's buying a house, they want the house to go entertain. You're buying your house for your grandchildren. So if it's two of you or one of you, you're getting a 5 bedroom because you're thinking about the once a year when your grandchildren or your parents come in. Right. So that is the programming. So there's so much of that that if we start to live more consciously and aware, that don't make no sense. That's creating this disease and this dysfunction and this other thing that I don't believe we are equipped, or it's something that's attainable. It's a pipe dream, it's an illusion. Because I look at the fruit on the tree, we're supposedly more advanced intellectually, technologically, informationally, because we have more information than before, but we somehow looking at the matter with all of that in mind, and it's not meeting the need of what is it we say we want. So somewhere there is a disconnect. Either we're not getting the disconnect, or the information is manipulated. And I'm thinking the disconnected is it. Excuse me. The disconnect is that we gotta come back home. And home is here. When the Bible said the kingdom of God is inside. And when I was talking to my sister-in-law today, I'm looking at, okay, we're looking at also, we're talking about the marriage thing and where that is going. We're talking about the health and where that is going. And we're talking about mental, where that is going. And we're talking about diet. And there's not no one area where I can say, you know, that information is true. All of it is like going to hell in a whatever. Yeah, it's going down. So my job now in myself is, okay, when I got up this morning, I'm like, okay, let me start to examine and live more aware, more conscious, more focused into what exact, because I was never actually taught that. We weren't taught to. I know Eastern, Indians and Asians, a lot of those children, they're into meditation. They can sit. But we are taught that that's foolishness. So we are steered away from, I've gotten more wanting such a desire, an insatiable desire of wanting to connect to the Creator. And this is how I got to that. It's like if you have a Honda car or a Mercedes and something is wrong with it, where do you take it? You take it to whoever manufactured the Mercedes.
Yeah, you take it to the
you don't take it to
place.
That is for that. We were created by a creator, and where do we take our issues? Where do we take
outside
ourselves? So now I think we have to get back. We're going around. It's like we're in the wilderness, going around, and the answer is actually here. It's not there. It's to sit with your creator, whoever that is, because he uses everything. Inanimate, whatever. Everything is his, whatever it is. He, she, I don't know. It's a spirit. I don't want to name anything, because anything at all I know human beings come up with, us, we always adulterate it. Because we come from a place of inadequacy, discontent. Just think about all, not enough comparison. So if that is where we come from, whatever information we're going to put out there is skewed or biased towards how is it we feel and who we are. So I think our job is, when I was thinking about what is it are we trying to do here, I don't want to talk about lose weight, because that will come. But what I think we need more of is to make the connection, but to live more consciously and start to learn yourself. We don't know who we are. Even on a physical level, we don't. It's like if we have any issues,
we don't even know how the body works.
We
don't even try to research, or we don't even ask the doctor. Well, if he says, well, this is going this way, we don't say, well, why? Like, we don't ask questions. We just like, okay, doctor, all right, and just move right on.
We're disconnected.
We don't want to think
from the thinking and the intelligence. When I was talking to my sister-in-law today, I was saying the Bible says I will suffer because of lack of knowledge. And I want to say knowledge is information with intelligence. I just come up with that. Man, I get that anywhere. Because we have more information that we know what to do with, and we're still ignorant, and we're still lost, and we're still blind.
Mm-hmm.
So it's got to be where the information is missing the intelligence, which is the God intelligence, and which is in us, that we're not getting it. And I do believe when we get on that page of wanting that from God, it will show up.
Mm-hmm.
We're out of alignment, I believe, and the alignment is where we are in alignment with what man's skewed way of how the world should work. Man meaning me, and the mindset of how it. And I'm not talking out of the crazy. Just look at the world we're in.
Mm-hmm.
Look at what is going on. We're not even paying attention to what is going on.
Mm-hmm.
And it comes from how is it we were oriented. And it's that nobody's fault. That's how we're nurtured. Our parents do it, grandparents do it, and we're just going through the motion. At 20 this happened, at 30 this happened, at 50 this happened, 60 this happened, and we're just like going, oh, this is normal and this is how it's supposed to be. There's
And
a
we just accept it.
yeah, there is no level of where we actually engaged in our lives. We're not actually involved and present in our lives. And maybe this is something that's going to be hard, but I think it's not something that's practiced. It's foreign to us. So it's easier for us to just go with the status quo because that takes work. So when I was sitting this morning, I say, okay, why am I beating up myself about eating all of this spelt bread for 4 or 5 days? And I feel it because I'm puffed up, and I'm like, and I began to just think about why.
Mm-hmm.
Because I have an idea of what is it I want to do, and I didn't meet it. So because I feel like I betrayed myself, then I start. But that's something we learn too. Mm-hmm. When we're hurting and something not going our way, we beat up ourselves, we hurt ourselves, and we hurt the other. If it's a relationship, you're finding somebody to blame. That's how we're oriented. We're not oriented to take responsibility. Mm-hmm. It's your fault, it's their fault, it's da-da-da-da-da-da-da. And I'm like, okay, where did we get this from? We got to get to a place where we want to find out, to get to the root of why am I behaving? Where did this come from? Because we have aligned with values, with ideologies, with all of these, map of what it should be, and we have not questioned it. Mm-hmm. And so we have a value system based on what we acquired. We have core beliefs based on what we acquired. And for the most part, it's not going the way you want to. And we're living these lives of quiet desperation and not making it, okay, this doesn't make sense. I don't have no money. Why don't I have no money? Or I don't have a relationship that's working. Why isn't it working? Or I'm not getting along with, the kids. Why is that happening? Because obviously the information we use is like, now I'm even rethinking this whole thing of punishment with children where we're punishing them. I'm like, where did we get that from? You don't do this. Yes, what I'm saying. I want to tell you how to do this. I want to foster behavior that I think that is going to harm you. We don't know for sure. But that is what we were, we got from the next generation. So what we do, we punish. And does that even make any sense? So what you do, you shut down your child or your husband or whoever is, their internal guidance system or their uniqueness for what they came here to do. And then they have all these shame and regret and guilt and, all these negative emotions you carry about your beingness, when your beingness is what you came here to offload and to give to society. Right. So it's this constant shadow of other people's mindset that you're carrying with you. So we're losing the battle on weight, we're losing the battle on health, we're losing the battle on relationship. But we gotta get back to what is the information that we're
Right.
using. We got to somehow get back to there. So needless to say, I got up and I said, you know what, I need to focus more on encouraging myself, focusing on uplifting high vibration stuff rather than beating down, because the beating down I got from that programming. I don't want to come from that place anymore. And I would encourage people, go back to your God source. Because I know that when God looks at you, He doesn't look at you being imperfect. He doesn't look at you being, or he or she doesn't look at you being flawed, doesn't look at you like you need to be punished because of something you do out of disobedience. Because nobody wants to be harming themselves. What is inherent in us, I believe, is who God is: compassion, understanding, caring, kind, love, peace, surrender, ease, flow, tolerance. That is who we inherently are. And especially women. Even that situation with man and woman, somehow I think it's screwed.
I think so too.
Women just naturally givers, naturally nurturers. We're naturally gods in terms of the attributes.
We was ruling too at one
Yeah.
time.
We get slapped up on the right cheek and we turn the left cheek to get slapped again. So now I really believe we're not going to win the war, or I don't want to say war, this thing of getting where you want to get, unless you reprogram up here. So you start to question all of this information here consciously. Yes, consciously, and say, you know what, Sonia, do you want checks and balances for yourself? We were programmed to manage other people, to control other people, to tell other people what they need to do. And a bunch of us are hypocrites, including myself. We gotta take responsibility. Okay, if I cannot manage this, I don't have no right to manage anybody else. How am I going to manage them? Because if I'm lost, I'm just going to create another person who is lost, or help steer them in the direction of being lost.
And that's what's happening, is that, these hospitals, they sick and they put that on the patients,
And I think even for me, like, I went to visit a friend this week, because even the whole thing with healthy, let me start to think more about. I have a friend that had a relative that passed on. And I mean, to her, he was healthy. I mean, when you look at him, he was a specimen in the gym every day, physique, whatever, in healthcare. And he ended up, getting whatever, and ended up dying recently. And when she said to me that, she just don't know what happened because he was healthy. And it made me want to think, but she's right. That's how she was
we programmed
that
because
this
he
is
looked
what
good.
health is.
Yeah, that's what health
and
is.
I start
so
to think, okay, what is healthy? Am I healthy? Am I after, because now in the health industry and the vegan and the fights we're having about what the thing is and who right and who wrong, and I want to get out all of that stuff. Because now I know, or I can only say that I was saying to Joy today, I am not going to say I'm healthy. I don't know for 100, because I don't know what healthy really means. Healthy to us is perfect, where we don't have no issue, liver functioning, lung functioning, brain functioning, mental wellness, we're emotionally fine. So that's, to me, that's like perfect. I don't know if nobody is like that, where you're not stressed out, and in all their areas, everything is balanced. So if that's what healthy is, none of us are. That means I'm not. But what I can say is, Joy and I, is that we were feeling this way and we no longer feel that way.
Mm-mm.
Like I said before in previous tapes, I had arthritis in my fingers, which they tell me it was hot and cold. I had digestive issues for over 10 years. I'm like struggling with in and out of the expert's office on this pill and that pill. I must have tried 10 different stomach pills. And I've been diagnosed with like 10 different issues. And I had foot bottom issues, I had hot flashes, I had headaches all the time. I was sluggish. I didn't have no energy all the time. And I took on, started to do my own work as asking God, you have got to give me some information here, because the information, or help me to use the information, because somewhere I'm not getting it.
Mm-mm.
And it came. Nobody actually I wasn't listening to anything to say, okay, you need, like we are doing this with you guys, you need, these are ideas. I never had that. I was just like Joy was on the same time, wanting to feel different, wanting to find my own answers. And I did find my own answers. I'm not where I want to be, but definitely I'm not where I'm used to. And I'm no longer carrying this heavy baggage of wanting to get to the place where it's perfect, because that is a bunch of crap. It's an illusion. We're never going to get to that place where everything is working together the way we want it. But I do believe if we give ourselves maybe a 95% and a little wiggle room, then, because we have to override this stuff, and it is really something that's key. If we do not get the connection here, this is just going to be work. It's going to be painful. It's going to be a chore. And one of the hurts.
But that's when the blessings come, is when you work through the pain. Like, don't sweep it up under the rug.
I'm telling
Go ahead
you,
and deal with the issue.
Once you get to that place where you can identify what the trigger is and what, because I'm working on that in my emotion too. What is it that's triggering me? Why am I feeling this way? And it always go back to the stuff that I acquired. And I acquired this stuff from other people who were crazy, who didn't know what they were doing either, because they had the same issues. So how are they going to tell me anything different other than creating the same stuff they had created themselves?
Right.
So at some point, I want to stop it here. It's for me, my kids are older. I wish I had this kind of, awareness when I was younger, but I do it with my grandchildren, God's willing, to say, listen, sit with yourself. It's a time to unlearn a lot of the stuff that you have learned and gathered. Start to look at it, start to evaluate, start to come up with a different value system and a different set of core beliefs that don't weight you down and feel like baggage and feel like pain. Whatever the value system is, as long as you're not hurting nobody and hurting yourself, it should be where it gives you peace of mind. It gives you contentment, because it's not the money we want. It's not the trappings. Yeah, we think that that's what we want because they tell us that's what you want. They tell you need more than one car, and you need more than one woman, and you need all this, and you get it, and you're like, okay, so now I have to go manage it, pay taxes on it. Why? If we were taught differently, then you wouldn't have starving people and somebody, putting diamonds on a Mercedes. All this disconnect going on because we're on the line underneath have this fear of losing and fear of not having, but all the things, today I was in the park, all the things that we're going after, I really believe we have them. We're going after love. We inherently love. We're going after more.
That's already there.
Yes, we came here with that. We're going after abundance. We inherently are abundant. All the things that we are aspiring for, which ultimately turn out to peace of mind and freedom, we already have that. If we were oriented to say, Joy, no girl, go sit down with you and God, step away Write out you need to. What, examine, okay, I have this desire. Why do I have the desire? Was it imposed on me from outside? Or is it something that's innate that's coming out? Is this something I came here to do? And start to work from there rather than start to work from outside. Because I do believe if we were born who oriented that, girl, you already have all the money you need. You already have all the love, you don't need it anywhere. You are that.
Right.
Then we would have charted a different type of reality. Not a reality of discontent, and every position is you're thinking, okay, it's not enough. And it's more and more. So now it's becoming so, it's like a consumerism. And what we're doing with wanting more and more and more, I think we inherently, the desire was put in us for evolution. Because when you have the desire, then you're in a creative space and you come up with solution and it moving forward. But no, the desire now is where you're doing that stuff to the detriment of other people and yourself.
Sometimes people don't think though. Like, I guess I'm coming from a place of like the whole food thing. When they go to the doctor, they think that just happened to happen to them. Like, with them getting diagnosed with, say, diabetes or cancer, or they're beating themselves up. Oh, why does this have to happen to me? Like, they just think it just happens. Like, they're not even aware that it's what they're putting.
Part of it. They're part of the problem.
It's funny. I don't know if I should share this, but you know me, I'm open. But I had started back detoxing Monday. And so I had papaya, which I'm really only supposed to be doing the lemon juice, grape juice, or watermelon, which is the watermelon me you talked about. It's hard to get a good watermelon right now. I guess it's really not quite the season yet. But so I ate some papaya. I felt like I needed to like chew something. So I was like, let me just do this papaya. And I cracked a joke with you this morning. And I was like, man, I went to the bathroom because like the first 2 days, my poo was like, I was like, where is this coming from? And the smell.
And you're cleaning.
Yeah. But then today, I went to the bathroom and butt smelled just like papaya. And I was like, I had to think to myself, like, like, you are what you eat. Like, it just came to me. Like, I would never, probably 4 years ago, never would have thought about that,
Because now you're more aware and you're paying attention to what's going on. I guarantee you, a lot of us take a shower or we're not paying attention to our skin or you take a shower and have a clue.
You trying to get to where you need to go. You ain't thinking about that shower
moment all the time.
You're not present.
We're not.
And it's another story I have to tell too. But we had a tornado watch. When was that?
Probably 3 days ago.
Maybe Monday. Was it Monday? Maybe Monday or Tuesday. Might have been Tuesday, but we had a tornado watch, so we had to take shelter. And for some reason, I always look out my kitchen window, and I was like, really, I felt like it was Monday because I'm always looking in the window, and I would see the squirrels and the birds, and I noticed they wasn't around. I was like, that's weird. And I mean, we have a lot of like squirrels and stuff back there. I was like, that's kind of strange. And then Tuesday came. I was back at the window again, and I was like, why is it so quiet? But I thought about it, and I've never paid attention, but till now that I'm cleansing and stuff, they got the download way before us. And I was like, they took shelter. Like they knew it was coming. And I just happened to, like, my little bing bing moment just went off, and I was like, now I'm able to see, because we are nature. They always stay aligned, but we always drift off. But I just thought that was so amazing that I was paying attention to that.
And we used to do that. We used to be capable,
like with the rain,
of reading the weather and the sun and what time. Just think about it. You can tell where the sun is in the sky and have an idea of what time it is.
Mhm.
Or I still today, based on how I smell the air, I can
Mhm.
tell if it's gonna rain,
Mhm.
you know,
Mhm.
or just that type. And I probably developed that because I grew up in the country,
Mhm. Cause you
sitting
notice
down.
it more
Yeah,
in
because I
Jamaica,
know
cause
sit
yeah,
down.
yeah.
Somebody who is not around
Mhm.
nature is like I was saying to my sister-in-law, shout out Nadine,
Mhm.
that
Mayday.
the only way you learn, like we have not learned ourselves and our body because we don't sit with it. It is something so foreign to us, like sitting and looking at your skin. I'm doing that now. I never used to do that. Pay attention when I'm brushing my teeth or washing my face to what's going on to my eyes, what's going on to my with my ears, what's going on with my feet, my leg. Just be more in tune with this temple of mine.
Mhm.
We weren't oriented that way.
Right.
And maybe that's how it's supposed to be, always in our head, because if we're always in our head, we're not here.
Right.
But it's not something that we can't accomplish. We have the ability because we're geniuses and we have that kind of supreme intelligence in us to bring that awareness here
Mhm.
and stay focused and develop that muscle of concentration to meet that. I was listening to something this week and there's this guy, he was talking and he said, in anything at all that you want to accomplish, you're either interested or you're committed. When you're interested, you do what's easy. You take the easy run, the easy way out. But when you're committed, you're doing whatever it takes. And I think I never got that. I mean, I was on the journey trying to, to change, to say, okay, I have to get more wrapped up into what really commitment means, what really doing whatever it takes means. Because if you say this is what you want, your actions always tell you or speak that you're just interested. You're really not committed. When you're committed, like if you want to change and reverse your health issues and reverse, is that one, you're either going to believe that there's another way. And obviously, there's another way because there are people who are incorporating a certain lifestyle and are getting the results. So it's not a lie that it doesn't work.
Right. Plus, too, it's easy for us because we've actually been there. And now that we've, changed our lifestyle, so we have something to compare it to.
Yeah. But I'm saying all of this to say is that we need to come back home.
Come back to nature,
We
y'all.
need to come back home. We need to start to have develop that relationship with your creator as to what direction, what do I need? Trust that you'll get the answers where you are, whether it's discontent, whatever is it, you know, examine your life. Okay, this area of your life is not working or it's not going the way you'd like it to go. It doesn't feel balanced, it feels off kilter. What is the knowledge, what is the information plus the intelligence that I'm not applying here? Or maybe I need to get more skills in that area to get where I need to do and be okay with the journey and be okay with where you are in the process. This beat down, drag down mindset that we have, I'm like over it.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody is, I mean, even I'm on social media and I sent to Joy today like we were on social media. I'm saying to you guys, I am not here wanting to preach to you to tell you what you need to do. I want to encourage you to inhabit your life, activate and participate in your life and your wellness.
Mm-hmm.
If you need to go cook, shed the thing about not wanting to cook. Because when you cook, you have control over what is going inside of your body. If you make a commitment to say, you know what, I need to go move, Be accountable to yourself, because every time you don't do that, you betray yourself. A little piece of your self-worth get chips away. And tomorrow you wake up, this whole mindset of degradation and mindset of self-destruction, other destruction. We gotta lose that, because it's low vibration and it's not here to serve us. And if you're not serving this first, how are you going to serve nobody else? And that's what I realized. You know what? The lifestyle of plant-based came to me. I have to inhabit that. But because now what it has done for me, and I want to say, guys, I have that joy, and we don't want people to feel pain. We don't want people to suffer. And we have a little bit more experience and information to say, you know what, you don't have to. Because once I was blind and now I can see.
And you doing it to yourself.
And
I'm
yes,
sorry.
we're participating with whether it's from ignorance or
suicide.
Disobedience. And the disobedience is that we do not want the work, and rightly so. With nature-wise, we go towards pleasure and we stay away from pain. So doing the commitment to self and the work to self, and it's and cooking and all of that stuff is work. We don't want to do that. That's why we want to win the lotto and go vegetate. Because it's natural for the body not to want to do anything. But when it comes to life force just don't happen just like that. It collaborates. When you plant a seed, you have to water the seed. You have to make sure you fertilize the seed. You have to give attention to the seed, and then it bring forth this fruit that you want. It's the same thing. Now the people who are following us, they have a little seed there. It's obviously you're following us because you want to make a change. Nurture the seed, water the seed. You cannot say you want to stop drinking or smoking or all the things that you know that you're participating, that's contributing to your demise, and still the same information that created that cannot be the same information that's going to change it.
And you make time for that. You make time to drink and smoke. You go to the bars. You meet your people there. I don't understand, why you can't just take the time and just get on the path and just,
Because it's a new way of thinking, and anything new.
And I'm just like, yeah,
but we are capable.
But if you sick, the time is now. Go ahead and start.
Yeah, and don't beat up yourself, because you're gonna take one step forward, then you're gonna take 3 steps back, and then 2 steps forward, 1 step back. But you're inching, and it's a process. That's how life is. When you plant a seed, you don't bear no fruit in 2 weeks.
Just go ahead and get on the regimen or whatever you incorporating into your
and
lifestyle.
Do your work.
Just do it, and who cares if maybe tomorrow you didn't do so great. Just
pick up yourself again. Yeah. Pick up where you left off.
Over.
But this whole mentality of I can't be bothered, it's too much work. I'm
let me just go back. Let's go back to the cigarette. And you know what? The cigarette and the alcohol's not serving you. It's pure poison.
Yeah, you feel like crap.
And that's what you're going to feel like, and that's what you're going to smell like. Person that smokes, you can smell it off the fingers. It's just it's in your clothes. And you can't imagine what it's doing to the inside if you smell like that on the outside. So,
but we're so disconnected from...
it's
what I'll encourage you guys to do, when you get up, before you come out of your bed, lay in your bed and start to focus on what the process is that's going on from your feet up. What you think that's going, and I do that now, that conscious, what is going on in my feet, my legs, moving all the way up, identifying where the organs are, the liver and the kidney, and there's a cohesiveness that is going on inside here, that a lot of noise and movement going on, but on the outside, it looks like nothing is happening. And something is happening outside, because I'm shedding dead skin cells and I'm exposed to that microbial environment, because we're picking up dirt and, just the whole being connected. It is amazes me sometimes when I sit down.
It is amazing, because I can testify to that this week, because like I said, I did start the detox back. And the week before, or it was the maybe we recorded the maybe it was the following week, but I remember I told you I felt like real like tired, and because I was eating more like the quinoa and the chickpea and stuff like that. But like this week now I started back, it's like, oh my God. I mean, although I still kind of feel like yuck, because those first few days you feel bad. But then I was like, oh my God, like I feel like I'm getting back to where, what I feel, like it's just, I don't know, it's just amazing that I realize, because a lot of my family members, they'll tell me it has nothing to do with the food that you putting in your body. And I'm like, no, y'all,
And
it's
that's the
something.
building block.
And they've never done plant based. So I'm like, how can you say that? And I'm coming from a place where I used to eat meat. Like I would eat more meat than vegetables. So I know like there is a total difference. Just like I said on Monday, and not that we, like you said, we don't want to talk about weight, but I weighed last Friday, and I've already lost 8 pounds
From the cleansing.
just in a week. Like, come on. Like there is a difference totally from doing, like I said, we're not trying to, tell you to stop eating meat, but we just know the difference. It is a total difference. You feel better. And like, because I'm doing the detox and I just started, I do like in the mornings, I do feel like I have more energy. But then towards the day, like I start feeling a little tired, a little fatigued. But it's the adrenals trying to work itself out. Like I'm healing. I'm in the process of healing. And it's just a beautiful thing to know the difference. And food does have a lot to play, and and mental. Like it affects the mental too, like how we think, and like it's something to it, y'all. I'm sorry,
I mean, the
but
food, I mean, if you drink some coffee, what it does is it
nervous,
feeds, yeah, the
yeah, messing
anxiety,
nervous
and it
system.
overworking the pituitary and the adrenal. So you have some chemical imbalance that's going on from a result of drinking that coffee.
You hear that? I know my sister's out there watching us. She's a coffee drinker. I'm calling you out right now. Sorry. Still love you though. But it messes with the nervous system.
No, it does.
And it
After a
messes,
while, that's
yeah,
you
that
can't be on coffee and focus on
mm-mm,
concentrating. It's
mm-mm,
going to be like climbing a. You'll never
mm-hmm.
be able to do that. But what I know is that the food does after once you
Yeah.
stay on the path, your
Mm-hmm.
desires
They
change.
do, because you want to go deeper. And that was
Yes.
another thing too. I did this detox a month ago, and I can just tell, like, I just want to go deeper. And I'm kind of like when you was talking earlier, I said once I did that detox, I was like, I'm gonna come off and I'm gonna start doing more raw cooking and raw foods and stuff. Of course, I went home to Kentucky, and then it just went all. I was like eating all, the stuff, the
But
heavy,
you're consciously
heavy.
there.
Yeah,
You'll
but I
keep going.
know, and that's why I was like, man, when I do this time, I'm gonna make sure I stick to the program and do what I'm supposed to do, because just overall I just feel better, and I know every now and then it's not gonna hurt to have something, but I just, for me, it's like once I open that door, it's like open up, like they say, a can of worms. It's like I can't go back. But yeah.
And it's like me, and I love fruit. And I find fruit does work for me in terms of the waste. But I find because of my memory, every time, well, not everything, some things just open my appetite for more sugar, which is the carbs and the whatever. So now I'm figuring out with my body that I probably have to lean more towards the vegetable, because I naturally, your body naturally need glucose. We're wired on on sugar. That's inherently how the body uses, I mean, gets energy from sugar, from glucose.
Right.
But now the taste buds and the different sugars is so manipulated that now the wiring is off. So now rather than craving the good sugar, because the good sugar is, we feel that is not adequate enough, we want the processed sugar. So the desire and the memory of what that, and it gives, is like a drug. So
Mm-hmm.
it fills you and it meets that spot
Love.
immediately.
Cause it's funny. I got another story, but I was watching for some reason I'm into the Teen Mom show, so they're back on. So I watched it yesterday, and there was a girl, Brianna. She's probably about the little girl's probably about 3, and her mom, and I was amazed, but she had cut up like some watermelon and some berries and all these little fruits and stuff and gave it to her daughter. And she was like, I don't want this. And her mom was like, why? And she's like, what do you want? She said, candy. But see, now that she's introduced her to that, because I was told that, like, if you have like a small, well, I ain't gonna say like an infant, but probably, a 2-year old, just like she is, if she was like introduced on the path that we're on from the time
Should have no desire for
she
that.
would, but she would have seen that fruit, like the colors, she would have gravitated to that. But just because she's put her on the chemical, the poison, that's all she wants. Like it was like that fruit would, like when she put that, she's like, I don't want this.
Yeah.
So it just lets you know that,
Guys, I don't know if you think it's working because I'm looking at all these children that having diabetes
and
at
the
young
eczema and
age.
psoriasis,
And
like,
I'm like saying, and we're thinking that what we're doing is working.
yeah, there's something's off with that.
No, man.
Like we definitely gonna discuss more about that with the mother carrying the child and how the mother passes and the father passes the stuff, passes this psoriasis and the diabetes, and they pass this on to the child, and the psoriasis and the eczema, especially at eczema. That eczema is,
A
and
lot of
then
kids
these
have it.
children is crying and they scratching themselves. I mean, to their bleeding. And then they
Yeah,
go
that's
to the
just
doctor
nutrient
and put a
deficiency.
cream on them and tell them, put them in some water, and I don't know what it's,
That's like treating it from the outside.
yeah, like what about the inside, y'all? Come
Yeah.
on.
Yeah.
And it's just so painful. And Sonia, she's more, I guess, more compassion. I've been trying to work on my compassion because I'm just like, like, come on. But it's like, I just hate to see those babies in pain. And I mean, I've had a few friends, their child broke out and still going through it right now.
Yeah.
And it's like you said, it's a disconnect. They don't think that they did anything.
Yeah. I want to encourage
They
us
thinking
to.
it's like the air. It's
Yeah.
like they think, oh, well, because we took her outside, she caught something from. I'm like, come on, she's a baby. She came through y'all.
Yeah.
So
We gotta develop a relationship with
we already
ourselves.
at our time.
You know, yeah, I'm gonna wrap up.
Mm.
We have to get back to the relationship with ourselves. It's much like when you get in a relationship with somebody on the outside, you don't really know them until you start to live with them. That these things are unfolding. We actually haven't been in that relationship with ourselves where we know ourselves. We understand our triggers. We understand why we do the things we do, not from a place of wanting to judge. Lay off of the judgment and the I am the word, all these things that we tell ourselves that really doesn't support ourselves, not just physically, but emotionally and mentally. And I guess for me, I think that is where I want to resonate, or I'm focusing on resonating. And I really believe that if that is the perspective from which we come from the God perspective, the compassion, because I guarantee you, for the relationships that not working, if that is where we came from a place of, especially women, if women know that we are endowed with all of this God intelligence, the nurturing and the kindness and the gentleness. And listen, you shower anybody with that, you're not going to be in no darn argument and no anger going on there. So, but we have missed it because of the information they gave us. Let me seek out for myself, because the God principle, obviously they don't think it works. We don't have the patience to wait for any, seeds to come up and everything in nature. That's how it works. There's nothing that comes over time. But human beings, We plant the seed and we want to reap it tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
So begin to start to take the cue from the God cue.
Mm-hmm.
You gotta sow, and then you got to nurture and water, and it takes diligence, it takes commitment for you to see a seed to grow, and you're depending on God. You're not in a relationship with nobody else wanting them to help you to grow this seed. It's just you and God all the time. I think we need to get back to there.
Mm-hmm.
Get back to where you're sitting down in a place and say you're having this conversation with your supreme intelligence, with your maker, with the manufacturer of this thing that know this thing more than you know this thing. And I do believe, like it said, if you ask, you will receive. If you seek, you will find. If you knock, it will be open. We don't believe that stuff, which is why we're over here creating a mess.
Mm-hmm.
We're backward in coming forward on the other side because we're listening to manipulation. But anyway, I think, and there's something else I need to say. This lady I spoke to yesterday, this friend of mine, her son suffered from migraines for years, and he figured out what it is. He came off the meat and the spices, and he has no migraines. And it was so
Toxins.
yeah, it's the toxins. It's just the tick. We gotta, I don't know, we just need to make that connection, man. If we do anything else on this platform, it's to help you to make a connection. I don't want to talk about losing no weight and all of this stuff.
Cause
Just
that'll
make that
come.
will come. Just get back to the place where you're in a relationship with yourself and you're in a relationship with your creator. Start from there and always come from a place of that. When you're in a situation, what would God do? How would God behave? How would he react? Would he get bent out of shape? Would he be blaming, oh, it's your fault, it's you do this, and if you never, no, he'd just say, okay, Joy, what's going on? Go figure out why are you being triggered?
Mm-hmm.
What's going on with you? Why are you not feeling well? Do that work for yourself. I'm here if you need me, but start to be in tune with yourself. If you have a little pain here, why am I having the pain? Is it something that's over time, or is it come up? Don't do the man thing. Oh, I have to go get a pill and figure out. Yeah, immediately. But in the long haul of it, get to the root. Get to the
There's
root. Go back to
always
the
a
root is
root.
always here.
Mm-hmm.
It's you and God and you and your relationship with yourself.
And those pains is just basically telling you that,
It's a message. It's
yeah,
a
it's a
messenger.
message,
Yeah, it's a
and we're
messenger.
thinking, oh well,
Yeah,
this is normal.
yeah.
Once you turn a certain age, things start shutting down, which is a total lie.
Don't listen. Just override all that information you get. Come up with a clean
Mm-hmm.
slate and start to chart your new course and your new reality from the
Mm-hmm.
slate of just behave like all of that memory and that
Mm-hmm.
programming and patterning is erased.
Because the body is super intelligent and it can carry you as long as you're giving it what it needs. But if you putting poison and stuff that's not supposed to go in there, of course your body at a certain time is going to shut down. It's not going to keep going.
Yeah,
So if you just put what you're supposed to in there,
yeah.
you could live forever.
We are
Which, well, we live forever anyway because we're energy, but that's another
we're creating and
subject.
participating
But
it, not from a place of some of us just don't. The awareness not there and it need to kick in. And I'm not here to blame you to say, okay, why you doing this, why you whatever. You should know that. It's not my job to, like have this big stick over to keep check. Did you do your enema? Like this morning I did my enema. No lie. I was saying to Joy, I've been doing my enema 3-4 times a week. My my gut, whatever came out of me. Have you ever like, as Joy was laughing? It's almost like when you smell water sitting down that's rancid.
sewage.
I mean, I was smelling like, and I'm eating fruits and vegetables, and I'm like saying to myself, where is this thing coming from?
Mm-hmm.
So it must be
So,
there somewhere. I mean, I was like stinking. I shouldn't be stinking. But what happened is the stuff inside of me, the waste inside of me, after my due date, and this is after 4 years, guys.
Yeah, 4 years, we still got stuff coming
And I'm
out.
still doing it.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not gonna happen for anybody overnight. Whatever the sickness you have or the this whatever, you gotta be patient. Just tap into the God thing. God is patient and He's kind and He's gentle and He's caring. Listen to those words. There's no rush. There's no impatience. And He's tender, or she. And He's compassionate and understanding. You feel that vibration? That vibration is ease. It's not rush. It's not impatience. It's not hurry. That's man. Man is speeding it up. And the more we're speeding up, is the faster we're getting to where we don't want to go. Ease back.
Ease and flow.
Yeah. That's the end of it. Thank you guys for joining us.
Thank you.
Till next time.
Yes, we'll see y'all
Be
next.
good to yourself.
We'll see y'all
And be good to the other.
next Thursday.
We need each other. This is my Mother's Day. It's from my girlfriend. Happy Mother's Day.